Hi parents, let's take a moment to talk about writing, and in particular helping your children with spelling. We know now with reading and writing research that the way that we were taught, and especially if grandparents and great-grandparents are helping your children with homework, especially the way they were taught, spelling is not a drill and kill now. So let's talk about ways that I'm teaching your children how to spell, what's expected in here, and then hopefully we can carry that over at home when you're spelling with your children. Let's talk about inventive spelling. So if you have your child labeling, maybe their pictures of the sounds that they found, of the objects, or if they're getting ready to do journal writing, it is important that you are not spelling for them. Let me say that, and this is a big step forward, and if you need to forward it to grandma, great-grandma, grandpa, whoever's helping your child with homework, let me say this again. It is really important that you are not spelling for your children, with the exception of proper nouns. If your child asks me how to spell Mrs. Schumacher because they're writing a story about me, I will spell it for them. If they're asking me to say that they went to Chuck E. Cheese and they want to know how to spell it, I will spell that for them, with the exception of proper nouns. Other than that, I am not spelling for them. Mr. Thompson is not spelling for them. So if we could make sure that you are also not spelling for them, that will help them in the long run. So let's talk about what you will do. So let's say your child found a picture of a hat, and they drew their hat, and now you're going to take it a step more, because we know our sounds now and we know our letters now, so we are ready to start writing. This is where that stretching and segmenting come in, that we've been stretching and doing auditory is going to come in, and you're going to now do it with our phonics. Hat, hat. In their mind, they're going to segment that. At, at. And they should be able to say hat. And label it, encourage them to. Now, some of those children, as you're developing this, the very first thing they should hear, and that's why you've been hearing so much of us talk about the initial break-off sound in those consonants, balloon, balloon, is many times it will look like this, hat, and they will label it. If that's what they get, great. It shows me they are hearing the initial sound, and that's it, really. The next sound developmentally that usually comes along is the final sound. So if they're doing hat, they would hear. And they're going to spell it just like that, H-T. That shows me when they're coming in, and you too, they're not hearing that medial sound, or they're not hearing that vowel, which is the hardest sound to hear. Hat. And even in really long words. So let's say pencil, and it's a P word, or they're drawing their pencil, and they're getting ready to spell this, and they hear pencil. What some children might do is just write a P, and that's what they've got. What I would expect next, pencil, hearing the O, and then developing it from there. Pencil. Pencil. And it might look something like that. That is appropriate. That is what we want. They will become amazing spellers. They will, I promise you. Please don't spell for your children. Instead, say, you're wanting to write pencil, what sounds do you hear? Break that apart. Pencil. And what you'll do is just say it really slow for them. Pencil. And if they say P, excellent. What letter is that? P. Pencil. And if they just hear the L, and if that's what they come up with, that's great. All right, so I encourage you to try it. It's a little uncomfortable for us because it's not the way we were taught. And it certainly wasn't the way that your grandparents and great-grandparents were taught. But this is going to get them to be confident in their own ability to write, to see themselves as writers, and I promise you, you will see those medial sounds start developing, You will start seeing the words spelled correctly as they become stronger readers and they realize, ooh, that's not right. I need to look at that. Now, we have done our sight words. So here's the exception. We've done our sight words. We would like for those to be spelled correctly. So when you're doing homework, you're doing your journal writing, you're labeling things. If they want to say, I saw a balloon, and that you know the I, and then later we see saw, maybe do a little word wall where they can go back and find that word, and then they just copy it. All right, I encourage you to give it a try. Always email us if you have any questions.